All right, cool. So let's go ahead and keep cruising. Our hourly tile now, if we go back to our website, our hourly tile is pretty much done. This here, we'll still need, we need one more thing actually added on here. And we're gonna say v-if, actually on this, we'll do v-if equals route.query.preview. And now this should be accurate. We're getting some data back. And again, that .preview should be true based on, I believe, what we're pushing from here. So we've got preview true as our query. So again, route.query.preview. And that should also be in the URL. So that should be right there. And so that will show up if the query is true, and otherwise it will not. So that's all we need to do to that. We can actually drop that down and collapse that one for the hourly. We'll make another one here. And this one is going to be kind of our main tile. And so this will be that main section underneath that, where we have, again, the actual current temperature and similar. And then we're going to have that kind of that weak look. That'll be another piece after that. But so we got this here, and we're going to keep cruising. So main tile, this will be another div. And this will be flex call, items dash center, and then text white, and then py-12. Should be about like that. We're going to have h1, and this will be text, if I can spell text dash 4xl, and mb dash 2. And we'll have, this is going to be some inline JavaScript here. So this will say route.params.city, about like that. So we should be able to see Chicago now on our page. There we go. So it's about like that. The text should be white. So I must have spelled something wrong. Yep, another dash there. That's going to be, it's going to haunt me. There we go. So now we got that, and we get that Y padding too. So that looks a lot nicer. The Chicago was all mushed up against that line there before, and that wasn't what we wanted. So now we've got that. After the H1, we're gonna have a P tag, and this will be text dash 8xl, and then we're gonna have another dot, and this will be mb dash 8. Should be like that, and this should say, we're gonna wanna have, again, this is gonna be our temperatures and stuff, so it'll be math.round, which should already be imported, I believe. Weather data.current.temp. And I think actually because I don't know if we had to do that for the last one when we had math, import math, because we used math in somewhere in here, I thought. Not there. No results. Well, whatever, we should be fine. Is it here? Why are you mad? I don't know why you're mad. You shouldn't actually be mad though either. This is kind of weird. Async city. Did I spell something wrong? Async city. Script setup. Do I need to not have this? It seems kind of weird. Yeah, it's fine. VS Code's just having a moment. Yep, cool beans. All right, whatever. Anyways, we should be able to get away with this. And actually, we can just look here and see if it's there. Terminal suspense is getting some data back. Unless that threw a bug. Did that throw a bug? It's city page. I thought that was set up. Yeah. It's all spelled the same. Async city.view. Why would you not? Oh, there it is. It was just taking a while. Okay, cool. So then we got the 22. That's good. And you might be asking, Brandon, why do I need to do that? Well, if we just got back just this information, so we just get rid of that there, and come back here, and you'll see we got a decimal. And that's not actually super helpful because not anybody can actually tell with their skin what that ends up feeling like, the difference between 22 degrees and 22.28. Nobody can tell. So that's not useful for most people, and most people don't want that much information. So we're just gonna put that in there. We're just gonna make it nice and rounded. Let's put in a feels like. So we're gonna do p tab. We'll just do feels like, and then same thing here. We're gonna do math.round weather data.current.feels like, and we'll do our and deg thing there for degrees. And we'll do p dot capitalize, and we're gonna have another inline, and this will be weather data dot current dot weather, and we'll have 0 for like the current day, and we'll have dot description, because again this weather thing is going to be an array of like the whole week. Description, that should be fine. So it says broken clouds, that's all nice. I'm not sure why it's mad about that either. Let's go back to our dash here. We'll just search Chicago again. Illinois, send that off, it got it back. Why is it giving me an internal server error? It's not, it's fine. It just thought it was, that's fine. Cool beans. All right, I just wanted to make sure that wasn't actually a bug, but I think my computer was just having a moment and being a drama llama. So then after our p tag, we've got some image tag that we're going to use. And this needs to be a self-closing image tag. And so just put that there like that, that'll be fine. And then inside of this, we'll have class equals W dash. We're going to do that hard code, 150 pixels in there, H auto. And then bind the source to it, because again, Vue just does their source stuff a little bit different than regular HTML. Inside of this, we will have our tick marks for same thing as before, and I think this is going to be the exact same URL as we had earlier for our hourly weather. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Exact same thing. So we can actually just go up further up here, drop this down again, and copy it like that. Go down here and just overwrite it. Should be fine. And this works because it's going to be looping over things over hourly. And so then that'll be a little bit different. But yeah, so we got our nice little clouds there. I wish that was a little bit higher resolution. I feel like that's not how that turned out elsewhere. I don't know, it is actually that kind of gritty, but that's okay. Great. That's probably just what the API is actually available. I didn't look into that until just now. All right, great. And so that's actually going to be the end of this. So we've got all that there, and that's all groovy, and we're done with that. So nice. So that's the end of our main tile div. We can drop that and press enter, and we're going to do a hard return. And we're going to have a bunch of classes on here. So this will be border white. And just do that, and then keep typing these. Border opacity 10, border, and then border will be W-full. So we're going to have a border on it. The border will be white. The border opacity will be 10. And so we should have a nice little like hint of a line through there, just to keep it nice and quiet, kind of clean. All these things are making me irritated, and I will deal with them later. So we got that now. Nice hard return. And then we just need that last kind of daily forecast section here at the bottom. So one more div. Oops. One more div. And this one's going to be class max width screen medium. And then width full and py12. What are we going to put in here? I'll have another div. .mx-8 and text white, and we're going to have an h2 .mb-4, and this will say 7-day forecast. We'll have a div, and this will be flex and then items center. And it's not the only class we want on here, so we'll go ahead and put this on a new line, tab it forward, put this down. There's other tools like Prettier that I've just never used that make this a little bit faster. But I also have autosave on, so sometimes it can be a little bit weird. Do v4, and this will be day in weather data daily. So that should be fine. And our key will be equal to day dt. I don't even know what that stands for, but that was again one of the parameters that we had inside of our object that we got back when we logged that earlier. So we can actually come back here. If it it lets me, and inspect, and let me do this. I should send off the API call. Gets that data back. Apparently it doesn't because we're not on this page. Okay, cool. So it gets that. We should be able to look at this data here and see there should be inside of data. I think it's under features. And the 0th thing, we have an ID. Where is what I'm looking at? Weather data.daily. Data wasn't in our query. That was pretty straightforward. Geometry. No, that was just our coordinates. Oh, that might actually be from the other request. So it might not be from this. It might be from the other one, where we're actually getting this stuff back. So, which we're not logging as much. We're not pulling this out really. So let's go ahead and just console.log weather data. Drop that down, and now we have our data that we're getting back. So data, and now we have our latitude and longitude, our daily, and we're going to be looking at the DT, which again, we'd have to look at the documentation for exactly what that is, but these are all the unique times you can see, I believe. I think it's just date time. And where all that stuff's at. So that's what those are, and those are going to be unique, and we can just use those as the keys. We could also probably just use the array number, like these things, as we go, if we wanted to. But this is what they have there for that. So, and since it's daily, we're able to do that. All right, back up here. So we got this, and inside of this div, I'm going to p class flex-1, so that will just take up the rest of the space. We're going to put in here, we're going to have a new date that takes in day.dt times 1000, and then sets that to local string, to local date string. And again, these are just date tools that already exist. And you can Google them if you want to. We're going to have weekday will be long. What does that look like? Again, this is all part of the date object, and what all's going in there. There's lots of stuff happening in that. It's kind of its own entity. We've got that, and so now that's done. And at the end of that p tag, we're groovy. I'm going to have image. And again, this isn't how we do sources here. We're going to have to bind this specifically. Source equals something. And this is going to be that same little icon URL again that we had from earlier. So we can just copy paste that in. Oh, do I need to put that inside of quotations? I do. You're so weird. You're so goofy. And we have an alt. This will just be weather icon. Do we need to do anything to this? Probably. We need a class as well. So this will be class equals width is going to be set to 50 pixels. That pixels needs to be inside of the square braces. Height is going to be the same. And then object dash cover. There we go. And that should be everything we need here. But again, our images need to be self-closing. So that'll be nice, and there won't be any errors. Then last thing we're going to do here is, before we get to that last div and closing that, we're going to have another div here. And this will be two p tags, h, and this will say math.round day.temp.max. Where am I getting that from? We'll go ahead and look. And we should have day.temp.max is right there. And again, our daily array, it's a for day in daily. So again, we have an array here, so we would be looping over daily. Again, we've got an array here, so we would be doing for each in daily, we would be doing something, which is exactly what we're doing. So v4 day in these things. We're just calling day. Again, it's just like a normal for loop where we're just calling each one of these objects a day. And then pulling data from each one of those. The temp.max is there. And the same thing, p this would be L, and same thing, math.round day.temp.min, I believe. Should be right, and we got to give this a bit of style here. So we do class, spell it right, equals flex gap 2, flex 1, justify dash end. I got to spell flex correctly. There we go, and that should be pretty clean. So we got that there. There's something wrong with our other side. What was supposed to be over there even? Oh, the day. What's the name of the day? Maybe something wrong here. Because I believe that's what this would end up being. Is the long version of the weekday. But why is it not coming back? Class flex 1. Date string. English US and weekday long. I'm not seeing what I did wrong here. Pause, see if I can figure it out. Okay, I didn't do anything wrong. Vue was just having a moment. Just refresh the page and it all loaded for just fine. So this is all correct. Great, so that's basically what we wanted to do here. So we've got all this stuff. We do want to have one more kind of attribute of this, which is where we're actually able to add the location, and we need to remove city button down at the bottom. So that's going to be kind of the last little thing we do here, is create that and create the button as well. So first we'll make the button, because we know we like to see things we can click on just to prove that we have it. So we're going to actually go up 2 divs and put it in here, I believe. We can actually just collapse this just to make sure that we're not in it. Oh, it's only 1 div. Okay, interesting. Oh, because I got that self, that's closing itself. All right, whatever. So then we'll have div, make one of those like that. That's why I thought there were 2 divs, because my content was in here. So we're going to say, we're going to do, I'm going to find a trash button. Let's find some trash. Trash. There we go. Give me some trash. Cool. And we got to make sure that we're in version 5. Again, if you're in version 6, you have more options, but that's fine. Let's just put this in there. FAS, FA trash. This should actually already be rendering. There's a little trash can down there. And that's nice, but we want to make sure that there's some space above and below. So we're going to get some space here. So class is going to be flex items dash center gap dash 2 py dash 12 text white and cursor pointer, because this is in fact basically a button that we're going to be generating here. So we got that there, and now you can see we've got that nice little, it shows up. It's the whole thing is vertical. It's kind of a little weird thing you may not have noticed, that actually this entire thing is really quite tall. And so, but that's fine, because this means that if they can click anywhere on there, then they get that functionality. It'll just be a really big button that they can't see. That'll be fine. And then we're going to have another p tag after this that just says remove city. Remove city. Great. And we could also, I guess we could, oh, we need to write our remove city thing. But that should look nice. So now, obviously, this entire space, this whole thing is the button. That's cool. And we need to add our remove city functionality. So that's what we're going to do next. Head down to the bottom of our screen. We're going to say const router equals use router, which again allows us to have access to the entire router object rather than just the route that we're on. It allows us to talk to the router and add things or remove things. And so we're going to say const remove city equals, say const cities equals json.parse. We're going to look into local storage, and we're actually not going to do this part yet. So we're just going to, instead of this, we're just going to do console.log. We will remove this city. Okay, so we got router. It's not going to actually do anything to the router yet. We'll get there in a bit. But what we're going to do here is going to actually tag this onto our div here. So we just do enter and tab forward, put this on a new line just to keep it clean, and we're going to have at click equals remove city. That should run that function. That should be fine for now. So yeah, so we should have all this, and we can have remove city. We go to our console, that should have printed out. We will remove this city. One other cool thing we can do is, this is the preview thing. So you are previewing this location. I don't want to be able to delete things if they're not actually here. That would be kind of obnoxious. And so same as we did at the very top where we had vif route query preview, we're going to take this and put it down here on our button and put it in. But this time we're going to do the opposite, right? So if it is not a preview. So if it is preview, then we don't want to be able to delete it. If it's not, or if it is previewing, then that should go away. So again, we're previewing right now, and it's gone. And theoretically, once we add this to our stuff, then it should be available at the bottom. And I also am eventually going to want to try and take this button and flip that logic as well, so that when we're doing, like when we're not previewing, then it won't be available, right? You don't want to be able to add Chicago like 5 times. That would be silly. And so we'll just basically say if it is if we're not previewing, then this will just go dark like that. So it'll still be there, but it will be just kind of harder to see. And then you'll only have these other options, and it won't. We'll remove the click availability, and so that way people won't add multiple. Or we can just style it differently, and if they really want to, they can. But whatever. This is kind of, it's like little details, little things that maybe you can add it yourself if you want to. But yeah, so that is another video. And we will go ahead and get our local storage stuff figured out here pretty soon. We'll get our city list and our city, and those will actually take the stuff from local storage, loop over them, and display once we add them. So should be cool. I'll see you in the next video.